Hello, my name is Michelle, and you're listening to Profit is a Choice. Mark Madonna is with us today. With over 20 years of marketing expertise, growing brands, and making them explode online, Mark brings his expertise to the digital world. Mark, along with business partner Kathleen Benderek, are shaping the face of the interior design industry by offering valuable content and tips in their fast-growing Facebook group, Interior Design Marketing. The tastefully inspired agency prides itself on getting small businesses across the globe fast results on and off social media. Their expert marketing knowledge and lean, scrappy mindset keeps them ahead of the pack. Mark is proudest of being a father of 3 amazing girls who inspire him daily. Normally, when he's working, he has the youngest on his lap wanting a sip of his coffee, and he said his motto for everything he does is family first. Mark is another of the fabulous authors in the Well-Designed Business Power Talk Friday Expert Series book. We met at LuAnn Live, and he is right when he talks about his coffee. That man likes his coffee. On the podcast today, we're going to be digging into all things Instagram, which is also some of the things he talks about in the book. You will soon know that I am not a big fan of doing video myself. I love your videos, and I want to see them, but I get super uncomfortable when I have to do it all by myself. But I'm hoping that this is going to be my year of video and visibility. You know, Rachel Mortiarty started the year off telling me that I really needed to do that, and now Mark is telling me the same, as well as many others. So at some point, you would think I would listen to him. And maybe you're uncomfortable as well with trying to start something new, whether it's just Instagram or videos or whatever it is. Mark offers some tips today to get us started and helps remove a bit of that overwhelm. So if you're interested, let's do this video thing together, okay? Every day, empowered entrepreneurs are taking ownership of their company financial health and enjoying the rewards of reduced stress and more creativity. With my background as a financial software developer, owner of multiple businesses in the interior design industry, educator, and speaker, I coach women in the interior design industry to increase their profits, regain ownership of their bottom line, and to have fun again in their business. Welcome to Profit is a Choice. Hey, Mark, welcome to the podcast.
How you doing, Michelle?
Doing great. Enjoying a little bit of this warmer weather.
I know, huh? It's kind of heating up over here in California too. It's nice, but it's kind of that tricky weather where you're not really sure, if you got to roll out to summer wear or winter wear, or you're kind of in between right now.
Yeah, same here. I'm sitting here in shorts and a short sleeve shirt, but we could very well turn around and drop 20 degrees and have rain by the evening. So you just never know.
Do you know what I call this time of the year?
What?
White leg time of the year.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Oh my God, it's so funny. I'm the same way. So I'm poking fun at myself too. It's so funny. I put on my shorts. I'm like, wow, okay, those are really white legs.
Yeah. So yesterday I had on shorts, same thing. And I was going out to dinner with a colleague, and I went upstairs and changed into jeans before I went out. I'm like, I am not going out with those white legs like that. Not yet.
I know. So how have you been?
Sitting outside. Doing good. You and I were both just together in Short Hills, New Jersey at LuAnn Live. And oh my gosh, that was so much fun. And I left there and did 2 more speaking events right behind it. And so now I'm kind of at home, able to take a breath. How about you?
Yeah, I'm still kind of reeling from it. I only, I usually go to one event during the course of the year. It's usually with LuAnn also. Her energy is really infectious. So I really like it. So for me, I usually go there. I do take a lot of content, videos, photos, and everything. And then I kind of repurpose them. So for me, yeah, that was a great event. Meeting everyone, like the people I met there, the people that came for the event, but also all the speakers and the authors, got my head spinning really, really bad. So even to this moment, I got to admit, I'm just kind of replay it over and over in my head and just pull apart things that I learned, things that I just impactful moments. So yeah, no, it was great. I had a great time. You road warriors like you, Michelle, man, hats off. I landed and I was just done. I was like, I can't believe people are going to the next one. It was very impressive.
Yeah, I'll have to say that was a pretty long stretch for me because I was on the road from, oh goodness, Friday through Wednesday night, came home, unpacked, repacked, and then gone again from Friday to Tuesday. And by the time I got home on that second Tuesday, I think I stumbled in the house around 1:30 in the afternoon, and I just like got something quick to eat, walked the dogs, put them back up, laid on the sofa, and slept for about 4 or 5 hours. And so it probably took me 4 or 5 days to recover. Where I just went to bed extremely early, like 7:45. My husband was like, he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Can I please go to bed? Please let me go to bed." It's like I was a child begging to go get sleep. So it's not easy. And I think the older I get, the harder it gets. But I love the energy, and I love meeting people, and I love talking and sharing so much. And so, as long as they're not really late nights, I usually can keep going for a few days. But I'm like you, it definitely takes something out of me. It's funny that you two said that you were still pulling things apart. I love that I learned so much from the attendees, and I also learned from all of the other speakers. Every speaker said something that I was able to take something away from, every single one of them. And I know Claire and Shauna Simon and a couple of others, just like you, have made mention of the same thing. Like, we all learned something, no matter who we were, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you have to also as a speaker, it's like you have to kind of have that mentality of understanding that like every day you're going to learn something new, wherever you learn it from, you have to be open to that. And I think that that's one of the cool parts about everyone involved in the project, that we all had that mentality of we can all learn from each other and kind of grow. So for me, I was kind of like a sponge when I was there. I was like, all right, look, there's some pretty powerful people and speakers and ideas, methods. I'm like, I'm just bringing it all in. So yeah, I really, really good event.
So you are in the book, along with me and some others. I think there were 12 of us. And your chapter is chapter 9. So if anybody has their book, you can go put your little sticky note. Chapter 9, starting on page 161. And Mark, you share a lot about social media, and primarily Instagram, and that's what we're going to dig in a little bit today. And I selfishly am asking you some of these questions simply because I don't know the answers, and because Instagram is just not my thing. I mean, I'd like for it to kind of be a little bit of my thing, just because I know it needs to be a little bit of my thing. It's not that I don't enjoy looking at what other people are doing, but I got to be honest, I am so busy that I'm trying to think of how do I sit down and come up with even more of these things that I'm supposed to be doing. And as anybody who knows me knows, I'm not a lover of the whole video thing. I love other people's videos, but I even shared this with Rachel Mortiarty. I don't enjoy doing all the video, but this is going to be my year of video. And you just told me again before we came online, Claire told me earlier, and I'm listening. So I want you to make me fall in love with video for Instagram while we're on the podcast today. Deal?
Deal. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I mean, here's a huge thing too. I mean, the thing that people don't understand, and the big secret in Facebook land, is the fact that they want to turn Facebook all video within a year's time. They're making a huge push on video on Instagram as well. Now, here's the idea, and this is a concept that I tell people straight off, and they listen to it and they say, okay, well, that does make sense. Think if you got into Instagram like when it first took off. Like, we weren't used to this whole concept of putting so many photos of ourselves, our life online like we are now. Nowadays we're okay with it. We can take a photo of what we're eating. We can take a photo of what we're wearing, whatever on Instagram, and we're trained to do that right now. It's like, it's common knowledge. I mean, think about this. You look on your Instagram feed and scroll down. Let me ask you, 10 years ago, would you ever have released this much information online this way? No.
Never.
So what I tell people is this, like, you don't like video right now. You will in 2 years ago. 2 years ago, or 2 years from now, I mean, you'll be used to it. You'll be totally used to the video thing. Video will have taken over and you will be used to doing videos. So I tell people this, look, it's coming, it's going to be here. And I swear to you, you will be used to it. So why not get into it now before everyone else does?
That's
Jump
fair.
into it now. Because honestly, like, you get used to video now, you get used to doing it. And in 2 years from now, when all of a sudden everyone, even those people who don't like videos, are jumping into it slowly and slowly, you've already mastered the craft. You've mastered what videos are all about. You mastered about how to deliver a message, tell a story. You know your angles, you know your lighting. You've already mastered it. So in essence, you're saying to yourself, look, I know that videos are the future. If I jump in now, I'm going to maximize my business. And I'll tell you why. And I tell everyone this. If I gave you the opportunity to put billboards throughout the country about your business, and I said to you, you have an unlimited amount of billboards you can use, how many would you take? You take as many as I could give you, right? Video content is the same way. Videos are going to be around for a long, long time. So why not throw up as many as possible to saturate your market? Why not be that person where people are looking left, they see a video of you, right? People see a video of you. It's all content that's related to your business, serves a purpose. And at the same time, you're getting better at your craft. So 2 years from now, you're going to be one of those people that said, you know what? I didn't like videos, but I got really good at it. And guess what? Now, after 2 years, I've already released maybe like 100 videos that are already out there, and they actually are generating business for me. And then all those people who said to you, I'm never getting to a video, they're going to be holding their phones, trying to figure it out, while you are already getting clients and making money from it.
So Mark, tell us a little bit about what your business looks like so that we have an understanding of here's what I want to hear. I want to hear what your business looks like and when you came to the Instagram game, because you've been in that Instagram game a long time.
Oh yeah, I've been around for so long as far as Instagram goes. My main account, Tastefully Inspired Blog, has around 40,000 plus people, and I have a business partner, Kathleen. We grow this account together. She's kind of the creative brain of like a lot of the grid stuff that we do and everything, and she's like vital to what we're doing in this thing because the account got too big to handle by one person. So we really do team up really well on it. She works with everything, Facebook, yada, yada. But the basic concept is that like a long time ago, I got into Instagram and I started my Instagram account as a photography account. And back then photography accounts were really, really popular. Hey, sunset. But then at the same time, I was getting really in working with interior designers and kind of figuring that out too. And I was kind of getting myself a little bit more towards like, you know what? I know that Instagram is blowing up now. I know that photography, there's going to be a bazillion photography accounts on Instagram. So I'm going to niche myself into interior design. And so I started to get interior design photos, kind of threw out a lot of that stuff. And through that, I kind of created a nice little niche in interior design, which is great. Nowadays, there's a lot of interior design Instagram accounts. But because I was able to niche early, and like I said, with these videos, it's the same way. You niche early, your niche can explode. It's like a surfboard. If you put it in the right place, in the right location, at the right time, you can really capitalize on it. But if you don't, and you miss your envelope for a niche, that niche is going to explode, and then you've missed the wave. So you really kind of have to time out exactly. And, I did that with interior design, and it worked for me. And now the account is over 40 plus followers. I'm not a designer. I've never been a designer. I have no urge to be a designer. But somehow now we have an account that's one of the largest for interior designers. So,
It makes me think about the book Surge by Mike Michalowicz. And in that book, he talks about kind of the surfboard analogy that you used about thinking of the wave and where you want to be on the wave to make sure that you can ride it in. You don't want to be in front of it. You can't be too early, and you can't be behind it and be too late. There's like this perfect timing for the wave that you're trying to ride. And I think that's what you're really saying about this as well.
Yeah, and it's also a mentality of not looking at what everyone's doing today, kind of thinking about what they're going to be doing in the future. What are the people to look at are the people who are already doing it really, really well and are kind of moving on to the next thing. You have your Casey Neistats, you got your Peter McKinnons, these big video people that are actually moving in a good direction where if you watch them, they're doing things that people will be doing in 2 years. Some content creators are doing it now, of course, but like you need to stay ahead of the game. We get so sucked into our own little kind of like bubble that we say to ourselves like, hey, I'm an influencer. Well, not really. Like you can't really get focused in on that. You have to think about what's next, what's coming. Be that person who found out about Google the first week it was out. Don't be that person who just discovered Google after everyone already made a ton of money on it. Do you know what I mean? Be that person who can look ahead of the game.
So when did you realize that you had hit on something with the Tastefully Inspired blog? Because you don't know at the very beginning. So, what was the turning point that you went, oh, wait a minute, I got something here?
Oh, it was because, the truth of the matter is, and this was actually maybe 3 years ago, I realized a lot of interior designers and people in this industry weren't marketing correctly. I come from a 20-year background of, teaching technology at colleges and everything too, and programming and everything. I was looking at this, I'm like, how is it that someone who is so talented and this designer who we all know about because we're in the design industry, how is it that this person is creating these amazing things, but Kim Kardashian can come in and create a couch and it can outsell that person? I'm like, how's that? I don't understand how that's even possible. How are these people not household names? So that all of a sudden got me thinking to myself, I'm like, look, if I add my marketing into this interior design industry, I could really have a market that's not really being utilized and jump in there and kind of dominate the market. And, I did. With Tasteful Inspired, we were getting our blog within the first, 4 or 5 months, we were getting like 500 views every single day on the blog. Instagram account, we were growing like crazy. Like I said, we're over 40,000 right now. Even Twitter, I think we're over 10,000 on Twitter. But what I'm just saying is, like, I saw the opportunity and I said to myself, you know what, look, people aren't really, like, people are so satisfied with being popular at High Point. But I'm saying, like, think past High Point. Think past like these events that we only know about. Go to that next level. Like I always tell people, I'm like, it's not about the people who know about you that like your stuff. It's about the people who don't. The people who like you're reaching out to and grabbing them and showing them your stuff for the first time. That's what you should be aiming at. But in our industry, people are so concerned about like, oh yeah, I want to make sure that everyone who already knows me knows that I created this project. That's not the game. The game is to step it past your bubble, get past interior design, get past it, grab the bubble and keep going on. Make yourself known in other areas. But people are so, I think, comfortable in interior design that they're okay being, really popular at High Point. They're really good with being popular at HD Expo in Las Vegas. They're good with that. But they shouldn't be, because the thing is, once you're stagnant, someone else can see that and jump in and dominate it, like a Restoration Hardware or whatever. Everyone should be shooting to be the next Nate Berkus instead of the next designer that we only know about. Do you see what I mean?
I do. So how has Instagram changed? Because I know we're constantly between Facebook and Instagram, we're constantly getting updates. It is, the video piece wasn't there when it first started. It was primarily static pictures. At first it was 1 or 2 hashtags, then it went to 30, then it came back to 3 to 5 that are more important. I mean, it is like somebody is behind the scenes shifting it to see if all of us are going to behave when we're out there using it. It feels like a moving target.
Oh, it is. I mean, I'll tell you something. 3 years ago, 2 years, no, maybe even a year ago, Instagram was easy. It was so simple to grow an account. It was simple, and it was like just easy, and it was effortless. Okay, so everyone got into that idea. I call it like the 20 syndrome. When you're 20s, you can eat whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, does not really matter. But then all of a sudden, your metabolism starts creeping up on you, and you can't eat what you want. Instagram changed in that way. It's hard now to grow an account. It's hard now. It's actually like something that people are saying, oh my God, Instagram's not doing what it did for me before. Yeah, because we got a little lazy. Let's be honest. We throw a photo out there, we got 100 likes, some comments, and we were happy. Now we're not getting that. Instagram is a market that's getting saturated. Everyone's jumping into Instagram, which just means that if you really want to keep going on Instagram, you have to invest a lot more time. You have to be more strategic. And you also have to kind of keep up with the Instagram updates. like what's going on now? Okay, like for right now, everyone knows that the Instagram grid has become almost like your website. Instagram stories are what are hot right now. Can this change? Of course it can. It's going to change because guess what? Everyone's going to start finding out, and everyone probably already has, that Instagram stories are the hot thing to do. So guess what? Everyone's going to start investing in Instagram stories. And then guess what? We're going to have billions of people posting on Instagram stories, and then it's going to be saturated, and then it's going to move to something else. But you always have to anticipate it. And that's the thing with Instagram. You know, it is, you can make, I mean, there's people making thousands upon thousands of dollars on Instagram, but they're working and they're thinking about what's the next big thing. They're not kind of getting like complacent, a little bit like, yeah, you know, I'm good, because you can't on Instagram. It will creep up on you, and pretty soon your likes will start dropping, comments will stop dropping, DMs will stop dropping, and you'll say to yourself, well, why? Because there's a lot more people jumping in. You got to stay ahead of the curve.
You know, I've seen something on Instagram, and I know, let's talk numbers a little bit here. So this is one of the things that has been like, I'm like, I don't get it. I think it's like some scam. And I can literally look at my phone and see a number of, let's say, followers that I have. And then I can turn around and go see that I had 15 new followers and that number never moved. Why is that?
Well, Instagram takes a little while to update. And also like Instagram is kind of a weird thing at times. Like sometimes I'll go to my desktop and I'll log into Instagram and my numbers are different. Instagram has a really, really solid analytic back end. So you're going to see your numbers kind of jump up, jump down, and it's frustrating to people. But the truth of the matter is we're in the age of Instagram where it's like, I followed 10 people. Okay. Out of those 10 people, I'll give them 3 days. Out of those 10 people, 2 followed me back. Okay. Now I'm going to drop the 8 who didn't. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very much that age if you're still using that method of follow for follow. Does that make sense?
It does, but good grief, who has time to sit and follow and unfollow? I mean, that kind of stuff's just crazy to me.
Oh, there's apps, there's bots that do it for you. Instagram's entered a whole new age of being able to, a lot of people put that stuff on autopilot, but the truth of the matter is like Instagram, if you can get there and figure out what other people are doing and figure out what you're doing, like people get caught up in Instagram. Like I tell people, like, like for stories, like, okay, here's a big thing that I've been pushing people on lately. And this is a big thing that is huge for people on Instagram. And it's something you should really, people who are listening to this should really do. This is straight up. Majority of your clients are going to be local. Okay. Like local businesses, local everything. So what I tell people left and right is follow your local city hashtag or the local areas. If you follow these hashtags, it's going to fill your feed with local content. This is content that you could actually go down. If you like some of these photos, you can basically comment genuinely and interact with people that could be your possible future clients. Everyone thinks national, everything's local. I mean, sometimes you're just aiming for some local business. And if you're local, for you to look outside your local kind of like where you're going to get your money, where you're going to get your clients is crazy. So I always tell people this, and then one of the first things I talk about is localizing your Instagram account. Don't think, hey, there's someone in like, if you live in California, don't think, hey, there's someone in New York who posted a picture of a dog. I'm going to go comment and say, that's a great dog. I mean, what are you really doing? You see what I mean?
Right.
But like
no. Well, and again, that goes back to, the goal here is for this to create relationships that then turn into something else, right? It's relationship building. So the person with a dog in New York is not likely in most cases to be your client if you're in California. So if you're looking for clients, that seems like a waste of time.
Completely a waste of time. You want to engage people who actually can buy your product and bring something to the table. So for me, what I do is like, with some of the clients I work with, I'm like, don't go national, don't go regional, go local. If you're going to be scrolling through your feed, make sure that all the photos on your feed are local people and engage with those, like those photos. Why? Because the end game is for you to get more clients, more money, and to just start engaging with your local community. Cross promote with your local community. Reach out, but go local. I mean, if your market is local, I mean, it makes no sense for you to look outside your local market for anything, you know, like, and that's just kind of how it is. But people get so caught up in those things. Like, you know, like I'll post a photo of my car. Guess what? Someone in Italy will like my car. What does that do for me? That does nothing for my business. That burns time. That is nothing that's going to do anything for me. But guess what? Someone down the block likes my car. Hey, fantastic. Hey, you know, let's talk a little bit. Let's cross promote. Let's do something. Like, it can generate into something a lot bigger. It can bring money into my bank account. And that's what people should be focused on. Like, forget the black holes that is social media. Forget that Mary Lou, who you went to high school with, added you as a friend, and you're looking at her kids and her family, what she's been up to. That's a time burner, especially when it's during business hours. You know, focus on what you should be focused for. And local, man, local is gold.
That's a good point. And I mean, if you certainly have a business that is more nationally driven, then, you know, your strategy may grow out from that. But usually those don't happen until you have been working firmly in your local market. And so that's a really great point to make. So I saw something, I want to say over the last day or two, Mark, where Instagram is going to be testing out, I think in Canada, where they're taking away the visualization of the number of likes of posts, so that the only ones who can see it are the owners of the account. So if I put up a picture, I'm the only one who can see how many people like it or don't like it. But you, as seeing my picture in your feed, you would like it if you liked it, but you would have no idea who else had liked it. And they're testing it because of a lot of, if you think about Instagram and how some of these social media platforms have been used in the teenage age group, right? That teen group. And that they are building their entire idea of their own worth and value based on likes, not likes, risky behaviors to get likes and not likes. And so then the conversation came up, wow, this could be really interesting for those, to your point, who would consider themselves to be social media influencers, because a lot of times they become influencers because everybody sees that they've got 10,000 likes and they think, well, I need to like that too, or I need to follow that person. And if that particular metric goes away and we can't see it, it will be interesting how the landscape may change.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I see the pros and the cons in this, like, and it's not even because of anything. I kind of like to step away and look at it. First of all, like, I think as far as for ad revenue, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, maybe more emphasis will be put on comments. I'm always up for change. I think it's like, you know, those magic 8 balls. I love when everything's shaken up a little bit. And then, like, you know, to see kind of what ends up happening. I think that that's a fun part about social media. I think that taking the likes away is probably going to freak a lot of people out.
Right.
I don't know.
But it just shows that that platform is still evolving. I mean, it is always changing. And I think that's even one of the things that makes it a bit stressful for people like me, where I'm not a marketer by nature. That's not, you know, my thing by nature. And so knowing that I've got to stay on top of it, you know, for those people who love it, like you, shake up the 8 ball, let's see how this works. I mean, to you, that's like, oh man, that's just fun. That just gives you another puzzle to put together, right? But for people that it's not maybe our joy, for us, it becomes stress inducing. But if we realize that we can grow and we can capitalize on some of the changes, then we either need to learn to do it. It's like I teach with anything else. If there's something that you don't know how to do, you don't like doing, either find somebody to do it for you or educate yourself around it, and then move on, right? And so one of the things that you and I talked about even before we came on is that Instagram, and you mentioned it earlier about stories, is becoming extremely video heavy. And so, you know, since you're talking me into this being the year of video for Michelle, talk to us just about how influential video is in Instagram and in the strategy that we employ.
Well, here's the thing that I always find funny about video. I mean, as a you know, being in sales, because I have a very deep sales background as well. Videos are the closest thing you're going to get to a handshake or a phone call. It's like, videos are so important because it transfers about a little bit about what you're all about. It gets your message out there so much better than photos, so much better than all this kind of stuff. So videos are kind of a way of getting you on someone's radar and kind of letting them feel a little bit more comfortable with you. So videos for me have always been something that I said to myself, look, I feel that I want to share a little bit of what I'm all about to people in videos. So for videos, I really liked. In Instagram, everything's moving to videos. See, okay, let me see if I can break this down really easy. YouTube makes a ungodly amount of money. I mean, an amazing amount of money with videos, okay? So you have Instagram, which is basically Facebook. They're grabbing their hands and going, I want that money. I want that money. They want that money. Okay, they want all that ad revenue. So many people have come to YouTube and wanted to grab that money, and no one's been successful. So Instagram realizes right now, they're like, okay, look, if we can get people used to doing videos and give videos a little bit more priority on our platform, then people are going to get used to doing more video content on Instagram. And then we can start getting these influencers from YouTube to Instagram and become a person who's going to grab a piece of that pie of all this ad revenue that YouTube is bringing in. So they're going to focus a lot on videos. They're going to give videos priorities in the feed. They're going to give videos a little bit of a discount as far as the advertising. They're going to give videos anything that they could possibly do to increase you as a user getting used to doing videos, because they don't want you to go to YouTube to do videos. They want you to jump into Instagram. So there's a big incentive in Instagram and in Facebook too, saying, you know what? YouTube is making so much money on their video platform. We have a large user base. We can do the same. How do we go about it? Well, let's start prioritizing videos and stories. Let's start prioritizing doing all this kind of stuff. Let's start putting a little more emphasis on IGTV. I mean, check this out. If you do a video, throw up one video on IGTV and then throw up another video on just regular Instagram, on your grid. Just try that. You're going to see the IGTV videos are getting like 10 times as much more views. That's strategy. That's Instagram telling people, invest in IGTV. Pretty soon, it's going to compete with YouTube. It's giving people an incentive. They're throwing us a little of incentives subliminally. You know what I mean? They're guiding us to where they want us to be. They want us to get used to this video. They want us to do this. And they do it in little ways of like, hey, let's give them some more likes. Let's give them some more comments. Let's give them a little bit of the spotlight a little bit more. And so they're guiding us. We just can't see it. We think it's us.
Yeah, it did. That's really interesting. I don't know that I had given a lot of thought to IGTV pulling away revenue share from YouTube, but I certainly can see that, and that sounds that sounds like something to watch. Very interesting. So, Mark, given that I know that you're really good with this, and you've shared with me, and you've talked to other people about this, and that's about and I hear this quite often. So, I mean, it is very well known in the marketing world, but to reuse information, right? So I think one of the things that can feel overwhelming is, oh my gosh, I've got to come up with 14 stories. I got to come up with 50 blog posts on my website, and I got to come up with this. But talk a little bit, if you will, about what's the minimum that we should be doing and engaging with Instagram, and then how we can reuse some of the content. Or you were even sharing with me before we came on air how you can take a video and then take still shots and then use it in another way. So how can we take something that can feel very overwhelming, and how can we kind of narrow it down to begin? So what's the smallest amount of engagement we need, and then how can we reuse information?
All right. Well, here's one thing I always tell people. I'm like, look, hashtags can be a pain in the butt. Let's just be honest. They're just not really a fun thing to do. What I do is with my hashtags is I keep them on Notepad in my iPhone. I talked to LuAnn a while ago about this too. And I'm like, so on my phone, I have maybe 50 to 60 different sets of hashtags that I just cut and paste in whatever the photo is. If I feel these hashtags relate to it, I always post it as the first comment underneath it. I use 30 and it's worked great for me. I would say for Instagram on the grid, posting once a day is fine. I would say probably do at least 3 stories. But the truth is, and here's the secret to this whole thing, like creating a kind of an organized archive of photos and videos for yourself. During the course of the day, you'll have your phone with you. So just start taking photos. Take photos of things that are really kind of interesting to you as a person and just organizing those things. If you have an archive of photos of like, you going to the store, you going to a museum, you going to an art gallery, you meeting with a client, you having a latte, and you have this archive of photos that you feel comfortable posting, that's half the trick. Half the trick is having the content at the ready to be able to post. Now, during the course of the day, you are going to see some really cool stuff, really fun things. Don't be afraid to take out your phone and take photos of it. Now, the truth of the matter is maybe once a week, sit yourself down with your phone and look through the photos and archive them a little bit in an area where you say to yourself, look, these are all photos that I feel comfortable with, good with, and these are things that I can use on social media. I tell people half the battle is to get the content there. You're going to notice if you do this, after about a couple of weeks, you're going to have like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 photos. Now, with these photos, you can create stories. You can do grid stuff. You can post on Facebook. For me, my thinking is like, and this is what the formula is basically like, do about 3 stories a day, post once on the grid, at least Monday through Friday. And I always send out at least 10 DMs every single day. That's just how I am. DMs are really, really powerful. And there are a lot of things people don't overlook. Don't sell on your DMs. Just communicate with someone. Say, hey, look, that last photo you posted on your grid, that really spoke to me. Keep up the good work. That's it. Don't go in for the kill. Just try to start a conversation. Try to engage. One of the tricks that I'll tell people, and this is one of these are like...
It's like networking. It's like you don't walk up to somebody at a networking event and try to sell your business. You walk up to engage and to have a conversation and get to know each other. And a DM is really like social media, like a network meeting. So don't, like you said, don't go in for the kill there.
Well, a DM is an email inbox for Instagram. So people think DMs, but they're thinking more like, I'm thinking more like email. You can live on Instagram. It has video calls. It has voice calls. It has email. It has everything. So you can actually spend a lot of time in Instagram. A lot of my communications happen directly with Instagram. Like if you think about it and you lay out Instagram in front of you, it's not really that hard, but you really have to put it in front of you, put all the aspects there and kind of strategize exactly how it would benefit. Like for you, for example, I'll take for what you're doing. Okay. I can guarantee I can show you in 2 minutes how you can get new clients. 2 minutes.
Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm Michelle and I'm thinking to myself, okay, look, I'm going to put together a list of 100 dream clients I'd love to work with. All right. Who are these 100 people? Boom, 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 boom. Let me find them on Instagram. Okay. I'm going to add all these 100 people. Boom, boom, boom. Added all the 100. Now I'm going to turn on post notifications. Oh, okay. What's that mean? Well, what that means is that anytime Billy Ray, who is one of my dream clients, posts a photo, I'm going to be that first person to comment on his photo. I'm going to tell him how amazing he is and how amazing that photo is. And I'm going to rinse and repeat that until I get on this guy's radar. And then after about a week or 2 or 3, or even, when I feel comfortable enough, I'm going to send him a DM. And guess what? This guy's going to be like really receptive. Why? Because I've been posting such nice, amazing comments to him. It's not going to be a cold call. It's going to be like, oh, Michelle, I see your comments that you post on my photos. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time to comment on my stuff. And then you're not going to sell him. You're just going to talk to him. Oh, hey, I love your photos. I just had to reach out. I mean, the authentic you that comes out in your photos is really, really amazing. And if there's anything we can ever do together, cross promote or whatever, just let me know. I'd love to work with you. Oh, really? What are you all about? What do you do? He's probably going to already have checked out your profile. And then all of a sudden you have an engaging conversation going back and forth. And I guarantee you that percentage of 100 people that you added, you turned on post notifications. I guarantee you're going to at least land 3 or 4 of these people. Minimum.
One comment about that, that's good. I don't ever really think to turn on post notifications, so I certainly can do that. But just in general, I want to make the comment, because I know after meeting you at LuAnn Live, I know this to be true. You're also suggesting that these DMs and these conversations, we're doing them with integrity and we're doing them with honesty and we're doing them because we really do like the picture. Like, we're not going to comment on something that we absolutely don't like just so that we could comment on it.
No. But here's the trick.
Right. And I just want to put that out there for people listening. This isn't meant to be like a sleazy, I'm going to go out and like everybody. Because then people can tell if you're a creeper. Like, don't be a creeper either.
No, don't be a creeper. But here's a trick. And it all stems from my first thing that I told you. Find your 100 dream clients. Dream clients, not just don't reach out to 100 random people. Dream clients. These are people that you know. These are people that you say to yourself, I know this energy's there. I know it fits. I know about this person. Like, I like this person. This is someone I want to work with. Like, when you have that feeling deep down, I guarantee you the comments, the messages, everything's going to flow. Because why?
Right.
Because these are people that you really admire. These are people where you say to yourself, like, I want to work with that person. Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love an authentic person who's giving them affirmation? I mean, that's the trick. Like, if you like, for example, for me, if I I said to myself, you know what? Oprah is awesome. I love Oprah. I guarantee you my comments aren't going to be like, beautiful photo. You are fantastic. I love you. Great job. I'm going to be like, oh my God, Oprah, you did this and you did this. And oh my God. And guess what? She's going to see that I actually am an authentic fan, because there's no other way to approach it. If they are your dream client, if there are people that you've studied, understood, and said to yourself, like, these are people I really kind of want to work with. I like them. You can't not be authentic. Do you see what I mean?
I do. No. And that's why, and I know that from our other conversations. And that's why I just wanted to make sure that we touched on that, because if we miss that, it can very much sound like you're just, being inauthentic. And that is not the case here at all.
No.
I mean, you can literally, I can tell the people that are inauthentic. I can tell the bots that are posting on my Instagram, hey, beautiful, with all of this great info, you could be reaching more clients. Hit me up. I mean, I know that that's not real. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know that is sleaze content.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to be careful that we don't fall into that, but without going in. And what you're saying is to go in with a strategy for how we're going to post, when we're going to post, and who we're going to post and interact with. Again, this isn't saying I can't comment on, a friend's Instagram knowing that they're not going to hire me. But I'm not going to spend my business time as a business strategy doing that. That's going to be personal time in another way, which brings up a good question that I have had clients ask. Should we have one Instagram account and we do personal and business, or should we have a business account and then a personal account?
It all depends on how much time you have. It's all about, like, here's the thing. It's like quality, you know what I mean? So if you can deliver quality content to both accounts, yeah, go for it. But you really have to think about it. Do I have the time? Or am I just going through one of those things where those nervous moments where I say to myself, two's better than one. I heard Bill over there has 2 accounts, so now I have to. Think about yourself. Think about your schedule. Are you going through a little bit of a downtime and maybe you'll speed up and you won't have time to dedicate to 2 accounts? I always tell people this. Do you have the time? Are you going to be able to deliver quality content to both accounts? If you are and you have that time, then go for it. If you don't, it's going to be a waste of time.
So then would it be better if let's say we only have one? I only have one. Is it better to have it set up as a personal account, or to go in and, even if we're using it, like mine is primarily business and I have it set up as a business account. Is it better to set it up within Instagram as a business account?
I'd say this. If you're going private account and it's just private and it's just for you, create a private one, or, just have create it and just add your friends and family and just do that, and gives you a little bit level of privacy. And then your other ones, just have it as business, look, here's the thing. Back in the day before Facebook came out, we didn't really burn this much time online. It's easy to get sucked into these like Instagram, Facebook, and all this kind of fun stuff. But the truth of the matter is, if it's like between your business hours, you should be, doing business. I mean, don't get so distracted by that black hole that is photos that you kind of go down a path. Like for me, I have 3 accounts. Every single one of them is business. Okay. I focus, I put videos, and they generate me money. Do you know what I mean? In each one does it in their own type of way, but I know what to post, where to post. I have a strategy. I know how my grid looks. I know what time I'm posting. I know what I'm doing. Everything is like the strategy behind it. I've taken that personal, like, oh my God, I want to sit there and go through photos for the next 3 days. I've taken that out. I grabbed that and said to myself, look, I get that. I get that that's great. But for me right now, if I'm going to be spending my time on something, it's to generate income and it's to grow my business. And, I took that out of the equation for me and it worked really great.
So let's talk about content for a minute. So is there a division of how our content, should it be all education? Should it be fun? Should it be an offer? Like, is there a good, percentage, let's say even on a grid of what that should look like?
Well, here's the thing, and this is a good method to think about it. Like, look at your grid. Is it attractive? Like, the grid nowadays, everyone throws this term out. The grid should look like a website. Okay. It should look somewhat like, it's when people, okay, like let's say, Michelle, you liked one of my photos. Okay. And I'm saying to myself, okay, let me check this out. So I click on it. My first impression is your grid. That's what it is. I look at your grid and I say to myself either like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Or like, what is this? Do you know what I mean? Like, so your grid is your first impression. So you have to treat it that way. So what I would say for your grid is just keep it somewhat like a website. Look at it like a website. Look at it and just look at it from afar, from close, and say to yourself, like, do you find that visually appealing to you? Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's got different clients. Everyone's got different things. Everyone's got, like, for example, like some people push a brand out there. Okay. Some people push themselves out there. So you have to look at that and just say to yourself, like, this is a first impression of hopefully my future customers and clients. Does this look good? And does it represent what I'm all about? Do they get enough from me when they look at the grid? And you have to kind of be the judge for yourself. Like, there shouldn't be any confusion what it's all about. Do you see what I mean?
I do.
I mean, just look at it. I mean, and that's the thing that's so funny. Everyone looks for a magic formula, like, like business, personal, da. But at the same time, you can look at it for yourself. Ask people who know you, ask your clients, like, what do you think of my Instagram account? Get a vibe. Everyone knows it. I mean, if I tell you right now, hey, Michelle, go to your website at a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? You'd probably you'd look at it and go, yeah, I like it. Maybe these things I'd change about it, or this or the other thing, but you kind of have the understanding. Why shouldn't that same thing pertain to your grid?
I can see that.
I mean, this is the first impression people are getting to your business on Instagram.
Right. We're used to the first place they would go would be your website. Now they may be finding us on Instagram, which then maybe carries them to the website. So it is their first introduction to us, our business, and what we're doing.
I mean, let me ask you something. How many times have you got like a a comment or something, and you go to someone's grid and you see that grid and you're like, okay, that's weird. I'm out of here. Or like,
yeah, multiple times.
I'm telling you, for me, the grid kills it. Totally. And for me, the grid either kills it or crushes it. And, like, I either look at it and I'm like, yeah, this is just weird. I'm gone. Or I look at it and I go like, whoa, that's pretty cool. So the grid has replaced in a lot of ways a website. So your grid should always kind of look pretty good. Like but there's no one set way. There's no one set website. You have to really say to yourself, like, what am I pushing here? Like for you, Michelle, I'd putting photos of yourself out there, really kind of cool quotes about like things that you're bringing to the table. Like, you have to kind of gauge what your audience want to see. Do you see what I mean? And you're going to gauge that through the analytic of Instagram as well. You're going to see how many likes you're getting, comments you're getting. Where are those comments coming from? Where are the likes coming from? Like, what gender is liking your stuff more? What demographic? What country? What area? All that stuff is there at the fingertips. So you can kind of say to yourself, like, look, the photo I took of me at the supermarket got more likes, but these likes were kind of nationwide. The one I took of me at the local with my friend, the local realtor, man, that got like 60% more local likes and comments. Okay, I'm on to something there. Do you see what I mean?
Right, exactly. And I think that's also important. So it's not just creating a strategy and ignoring it then, right? Or not ignoring it, just like working within the strategy. It's then also looking at the metrics and the insights that Instagram makes available so that we can go back and re-strategize or tweak that strategy. Because again, as Instagram changes, as people's viewing habits and liking habits change, we need to be changing with it.
Yeah, you definitely need to be changing with it. It changes every single day. I mean, there's new features on Instagram. Like IGTV is something that I'm investing in myself right now because I know that it's really, really going to do really well this year. The only thing IGTV lacks is a search bar. If they add a search way to search for videos, just like type in like, I don't know, car wash. Boom.
Like you can on YouTube, right?
Yep. Once they do that, it will change the game. That's the only thing they're lacking right now. Well, okay, except for those vertical videos, which no one's really figured out yet. But they're getting people more in line with the whole idea of like doing videos on Instagram. People are jumping into videos on Instagram. People are getting used to it. Instagram is getting everyone used to videos, vertical format, so that when they do roll out the search bar or the search air thing, all of a sudden people are going to be throwing up IGTV videos like crazy, or at least that's what they're banking on.
Okay. So Mark, is there a way that we can screw up our Instagram account, get locked down, shut out?
Oh yeah.
Flag.
Oh yeah. I mean,
what are some things that we should stay away from so that doesn't happen?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I always tell people like, look, here's the thing. Common sense stuff, don't profanity, nudity, all that kind of fun stuff. Stay off.
Yeah.
DMs, don't repeat the same thing over and over. Now, Instagram wants to make sure that you're human as well. So if you're using a bot, if you're using a robot, if you're, cut and pasting the same comment to like everyone, like those are things that Instagram is going to really frown on. So just be authentic, it stinks to say, and but it should be obvious, but just be authentic. Don't try to cheat the mechanism or cheat anything. Like just be authentic. Spend time in it. They want an authentic audience in Instagram. So do things that are just like authentically you. Don't do anything that's going to offend anyone else. Don't do anything that you when you're posting something, you say to yourself like, yeah, should I be doing it? If you're asking yourself that question, you shouldn't be. You know what I mean? If you say to yourself like, it's common sense stuff. And sometimes it kind of like completely blows my mind, when people are like, yeah, I got banned today. Why? Oh, I sent out like, 300 DMs about my business. Well, I mean, common sense wise, should you have been doing, didn't you gauge that there was probably something wrong with that? Just follow the common sense rules on stuff like this. Like they just want to make sure that the atmosphere is good for everyone. Fair play is done. So just, I'd say common sense that thing, just the only thing I would say, maybe just try to mix up the hashtags a little bit more. And just try not to go so much on autopilot. Try to be authentic,
Right. So, Mark, what is one of your next profit goals in your business with regards to all of this?
Well, here's the thing that's crazy is I also do real estate here in Sacramento. And because I've applied a lot of my marketing goals, I've already I've only been in real estate for about a couple of years, and I'm already one of the top producers in Sacramento because of the marketing that I've been doing. So like my profit in real estate is just exceeding expectations right now. I'm like, I don't know. It's really, really good. For the marketing right now, I'd like to work with people as far as like designers, stagers that want to really kind of work on growing their local market, then their regional, then their national, then their global. The idea for me right now is that I've got so many strategies that are so effective in social media that I want to work with designers that are hungry, that want to kind of grow and develop their businesses. I don't want to really work with people who are on autopilot or who've kind of like are okay with the level they're at. Like I often tell people this, I'm like, look, I think that I can probably blow up some designers really, really good, but it's a 50-50 thing. You got to meet me halfway on this. Like I tell people this straight up. I'm very picky on who I work with. I want someone who's hungry, who wants to just go out there and kill it. Those are the clients I want. And I'm at the stage of the game, honestly, where I can choose and pick who I want to work with. And I don't want to work with someone who is complacent. I want to work with young, hungry people, and I don't mean young as an age. I just mean like have that fire. Do you know what I mean? To like just to succeed. You know what I mean? I want to help people get to that level of being on TV. I want to help the next Nate Berkus get there. And I think it's feasible. But like those are the people that I want to work with.
And so where can people find you if they're looking for you and they're one of these people that are hungry and they want to to do exactly what you just described, how can they get in touch with you, Mark?
Oh, you can go to Instagram. You can go to, I have my personal one is Mark Patrick McDonough. And the one that most people kind of communicate through is Tastefully Inspired Blog on Instagram. We also run one of the largest interior design marketing groups on Facebook at all. Apropos, the name of the group is Interior Design Marketing. So you can find us there as well. I think we have close to like 4,000 people. And the truth of the matter is, and I don't, how can I say this? Like when I first got into this industry, I did work with a lot of the people who were already kind of at that level that they were happy with. And it was fine. I worked with like Roger Thomas, with Clodagh, Lori Weitzner, who else? Timothy Corrigan, worked a little with Vincent Wolf. Like I worked with people who already were pretty happy with where they're at. They didn't have that fire in them to kind of get to that Nate Berkus level or just really just crush it. And I saw that the Shea McGee's were coming. I saw this and I said to myself, and I said to them, I'm like, let's get you to that level. And they weren't really that like, well, no, we're good. We're good with this. So for me, when I say like hungry, I want people who don't see limits, I think this is something that I really truly believe. I think limits are an illusion that people put on themselves. There's no limit to where anyone can get to in life. Everyone's so used to seeing other people get to a certain level and they think that that's the top. There's more out there. You know what I mean? And those are the type of people that I want to work with. People who don't just say, that's where I want to go and I'm good with that. I want people who say to themselves, like, there isn't any reason why if I work my butt off and I market myself and I promote myself and I get out there and I hustle, that I can't be sitting right next to Oprah. There's no reason why. Those are the people that I love. Those are the people who fuel me. Those are the people who all of a sudden we start strategizing, thinking like what they should do next and everything. That's where I want to be. If you know what I mean, next to people like that.
I get it. So the challenge is out. Now let's go see who feels like that, right?
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
I like it. Mark, thank you again for taking the time to talk to us today. For anybody who wants to read more about Instagram, they can, of course, check out the book, A Well-Designed Business, The Power Talk Friday Experts with LuAnn, Nigara, and friends. And Mark's chapter, again, is chapter 9, starting on page 161. I know that because he signed it in my book for me. And it's really great information. And Mark, again, just thank you so much for sharing your expertise in this area with us today.
Michelle, thank you very much for having me. And like I said, you really stuck in my head, and I tell you this straight up, like you have to get in a video, like you need to translate your message in videos because I guarantee you, like you will thank me later. But you have to get into videos. You better get into videos.
I'm going to do it. I'll go ahead and write the thank you note and hold it to the side so I know when to send it.
Awesome. Thanks.
That sounds great.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Mark, for sharing all the insight on Instagram. I know that social media can be very overwhelming to us all, and to have a plan is super important to our success. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at ScarletThreadATL, and I would love to see you and follow you back. Let's also make a plan to do some video. I'm really going to try to do that this year. It will be fun to see how our companies change when we do it. Remember, every choice we make matters, and profit doesn't happen by accident.